then. Just. Everybody, we got the. Present things and get it going on and stuff, and that's what I was. Thinking, say about all this stuff. Oh. Think I want to do your into the bomb cover. I'd have to say those things. That's like a. Probably 15 years. Oh, but it's not, so I don't think it's, I don't, it's not this called scanner or anything like that. I think it's certainly from the solar and belongs to the sheet for being. Everybody's got a vote on your machine, anything that. We all heard from it. You get married this last?
I did.
Nice, great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Get a lot of good gifts.
I did get some good gifts,
That's all.
including a pot of
That's
money.
really where the rubber meets the road, isn't it?
A pot of what?
Money,
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
yeah,
There you go.
that's all I can ask for.
Was there a rainbow emptying into it?
Yeah,
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Fabulous.
and a little less fun.
Small green detail.
Mhm.
You really toss that one. Well, should we start?
It's.
All right. Parks and Recreation Commission, Town of Georgetown, regular scheduled meeting Thursday, September 4th, 2025, 6 P M. Notice an agenda for regular meeting. Town hall will be open to the public for this meeting. There's an option to join virtually. If you'd like to leave a comment, please call 303-569-2555 extension 2. Or email townclerk@townofgeorgetown.us, and we will give you details regarding the meeting. Roll call. Chairman Christian Wellbaum here. Vice Chairman Tom Paxton.
Here.
Members Nick Mendetto.
Here.
Daniel Owen.
Here.
Jessica Lewis.
Here.
Lewis,
Thank you.
Lexi Berger.
Here.
Rob Connell.
Here.
Agenda approval. So anything anyone would love to throw on? Whether it's not already on the agenda.
Lastly, 102.
Me,
Sorry, I did it. I put my stuff on the agenda.
That's okay.
I just wanted to add,
That's why.
I just want to give the board an update on being a representative at the, like Clear Creek Trail Coalition. So I can just give that update. Also, I don't know, like, I just would love to do a round of introductions because we have a new member. And when I was a new member, I just kind of like came on and didn't really know anyone, so if that's okay with everyone, if we could do that like at the top of the agenda. It's like your name and background, so that Nick knows. I mean, you might already know everyone, but
I don't.
are you a new member? Yeah, okay. I just think it would be helpful for everyone if we could do
No,
that.
that's good idea.
Okay, thank you. I don't know everyone, so maybe this is for me.
I think it's a good idea.
Agreed.
We have to, I'm going to,
So, adding that in the Trail Coalition.
motion in favor to add that to the coalition to the agenda.
Okay,
Just approval of the agenda.
Approval of the agenda.
I motion to approve the agenda. A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes approval.
Was there any changes? I'll move to approve the minutes updated August 7th, 2025.
I second that.
All in favor? Audience business, members of the audience will have 5 minutes to present any matter of interest related to the town not already on the agenda. No official action may be taken at this time. Dennis, are you just sitting in? Do you have anything you wanna talk about?
Oh, I got lots to talk about.
All right.
Are we not
Alright, so first one on the agenda, introductions. My name is Christian Walam. I actually grew up here in Georgetown my whole life. I've been a part of the town in many different ways, but businesses and community for as long as I can remember. And just got onto this board last year.
Go in a circle.
You started in the middle.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm gonna go.
Sure.
Kevin looks like he's dying to say something.
I'm Kevin Gregory, I'm the Parks guy, I've been working for the town for 6 years. No, originally from Colorado Springs, but I've been landscaping my whole life.
I'm Rob Connell, I'm your Board of Selectmen representative. You know, I should have worn my sash or my name tag.
Brown.
Whatever you had. No, we already have a cake. Anyway, I'm from New Jersey, I lived in New Jersey, went to school in upstate New York. Finished up at Florida State, came to Boston to Vermont, Vermont to Philadelphia, Philadelphia to Denver. Then I met her.
Now he's done.
Now, yeah, my kids live in Evergreen. One's studying for the LSATs, the other just is in property management, and one's a professional cross player.
Very nice.
I'm Susan Edge. I'm an employee for Georgetown. I take minutes for this meeting and the Design Review Commission as well. And I work part-time over the county in the assessor's office.
Where are you from, Susan?
I'm from Hawaii.
Oh.
Nobody saw that come.
Well, I'm Lexi Berger. I'm from the Poconos and I have lived in Georgetown for 5 years. And I've been on this board for about a year and a half and yeah. Kicking it. I don't know what else to say.
I'm Nick Mandato. I've been in Georgetown about 4 years. Spent most of my growings up on the East Coast, between New York, North Carolina, Georgia, a little bit of time in Tahoe. And then moved out here about 10 years ago, to Colorado. I found my way to Georgetown during the pandemic and yeah, now here I am.
I'm Daniel Owen, grew up on the Front Range, been in Georgetown for like 15 years. I've been on the board for a few years, I've been absent for several months. I originally got on the board because I was I worked for Trails for the county. And getting involved in the parks and stuff was kind of important, making sure they go the right way. You're right.
My name, actually, I just changed my last name today, so this is the first time I'm saying this, but my name is Jessica Arvantoulis.
How do you spell that?
Arhontoulis. Yes, my husband is Greek. I lived in Georgetown for about 3 years. I got my undergrad in Parks and Recreation, so this is like a passion of mine. And I work for Conservation Colorado, a nonprofit that's based in Denver. And I just like love being part of the community, and that's why I'm on the board.
I'm Tom Paxton. I've lived here for like 20 some years and I've been on the Parks Board for 12 or 13 years, I think. And that's it.
All right,
Great,
thanks
great.
everyone. for
Okay, so
taking the
order.
introductions.
Good idea.
Now we have the presentation by the UTAP team. Do we have them with us right now? I'll see you.
Yeah.
You're up there.
Hi, yes, I'll share my screen. Mm. Okay, can you see that?
Nothing's coming through.
No.
There we go.
There it is.
Yes.
Yeah, well, hi, thank you for having us today. We would like to go over some updates on Southeast Lagoon, Meadows, and Greenway Park, along with some questions for you that would help us keep moving forward with the project. starting with wayfinding. For the design of the park signage, we drew inspiration from the previously approved park monuments on the top left, with directional signage, the sign inspired by each location's theme. A bicycle frame for Greenway, oars for Southeast Lagoon, and a skateboard for Meadows Park. And the main park signage on the bottom right, being consistent across all three parks. We presented this during our last meeting, and we were just wondering if there were any thoughts or questions on the proposed concept for wayfinding.
Not much, so I don't think so.
Would you like us to feature a particular mountain range in the design? Something that it's more specific to Georgetown?
You know, it's like kind of characteristic of Georgetown is more or less the trade. You know, a lot of people, when they think of Georgetown, they think of the Georgetown Loop. Or mining.
Or something mining. There's mining.
So it's not really like a background more or less than maybe cross pickaxes or a local, you know, the silhouette of a locomotive.
Okay, so something more so related to mining and potentially like the locomotive. Did I hear that right?
We'll make it a steam locomotive. That's a big distinction.
It is.
We do have,
Believe it or not.
on our agenda today, we do have. After you guys, we do have another thing about park signage, so. Maybe if you can tune into that too, that might maybe help you out.
Okay, yeah,
Sure.
we could do that.
Yeah. See what, 'cause I know there's some other things going around with signs, so you could maybe stay tuned for that if you have a minute.
Okay, yeah, for sure. Okay, so I'll move on then. We do have this render for Southeast Lagoon, implementing the proposed material palette and the park signage and monument that we just went over. Also like the proposed paving pattern for the plaza, which was designed to evoke the form of the kayak and the ripple effect of water, gradually fading as you move outward into different zones. This overall to help you visualize the scale of things and how everything is coming together. This is a previously presented site plan for Southeast Lagoon. We wanted to zoom in on the program of the shelter structure. We've included the 12 by 12 utility room, number 4, with a service sink, wall-mounted boat storage rack with a total capacity of 16 boats. The 2 ADA restrooms, number 1, and a female and male restroom, each with 2 stalls, and also 6 picnic tables. Would this revised layout and programming meet the needs for this structure?
I think that was almost everything we went over last time.
Was there the utility closet?
Yeah, that was a
Okay,
top left.
okay.
There was what she had in there, yeah. That utility closet there.
Or room? Rather.
Cool.
Yeah, that all looks really good to me.
It looks pretty good.
Okay, so this is the site plan for Greenway Park that we also presented during our last meeting. I believe we don't have any particular questions on this. We just wanted to see if there were any additional thoughts on the proposed plan.
Something that just keeps coming up for me with this one, like I just walked through this park, like almost every day actually, and I just don't see that amount of trails fitting in that space.
I think 1 per side versus 2.
Yeah,
This is
for
what
sure.
you're thinking, that's what I think when I see it.
It's just like, I don't know, maybe it just feels like it would be kind of a lot with that amount of trails, so we're thinking more like 2 per side. right, Lexi, is that what you just said?
So my thoughts are here, so there's, I guess, a difference, are we going to have one side be more of a pump track in which we could put two right next to each other? I mean, you see Midturns pump track, they're really in there, and
Yeah.
Gopher Games uses that. Versus if we're trying to do more of a mountain bike themed trail area, then yeah, I'm thinking that one, or maybe we do almost like a pump
The goal,
grab thing with a double on one side as the intermediate side, and
Yeah.
the beginner side just be like riding around on your bike.
And I
with
think
some rocks.
the purpose of this area too is to like connect trails. Like that go from like the lagoon on through the rest of Georgetown. And it's just like, this area is just like really wooded, there would be like a lot of cleanup in order to get that many trails in there, and so I think just decreasing the amount of like trail lines. Would be necessary,
It's less invasive.
yeah, I mean,
You wanna
it's,
kind of preserve the, like,
it's thick in there,
right,
yeah.
Right.
And like
That's why it's cool though too, cause it's thick, so you don't wanna completely.
clear everything
Right.
out, yeah. I think there's like access to like fishing along the creek too, so like. So that's the feedback, I think, less trails in that area.
And I think it's cool having that kind of like a central part that's a little bit developed like that, that's
I
kind
love
of cool.
that.
And yeah, then we were gonna have looking at the water is what I think I'm looking at the water, there's gonna be a walkway for people to walk the water. Rather than the street.
Right,
I'm
so that's
looking
the
at that,
fishing trail, I think, on the water side, but
Yeah.
downless, we're proposing keeping the fishing trail. But only not having an inner and outer loop.
Yeah.
On each side, just one loop per side, I think is what we're
Yeah,
proposing.
let's just make one trail dead end.
I mean, it's just one,
Why
like,
not? I mean, let's have a sense of humor about it.
If we're gonna do that, then it has to be.
Yeah.
Who cares about that?
The water.
place? You wanna just-
this area also gets like really muddy, so it will need some like water mitigation, like it's basically a marsh when the snow starts to melt. So,
It does fill up in there pretty good.
yeah,
So erosion control measures.
Or
for
maybe
sure.
make it more boardwalk.
yeah,
So, you know.
I think as long as it's a good general idea too, whoever actually was to build it would obviously have the knowledge to like.
yeah,
The
But
engineering
like the
for it.
bridge-
Do it, you know.
On like the trips, like the mountain bike path was supposed to have features like little climbs or logs and bridges and stuff to go over the marshy areas and stuff like that. And I mean, there's a lot of cool bike parks that do stuff like that, going over and underwater and around water and stuff like that, so.
More features to avoid, is what we're thinking, yeah.
Or more, think of it this way, is more features to be less invasive to the natural environment.
Yeah. So then, I mean, if you're building like a bridge for the bike rather than mitigating the water, instead of trying to find a way to get the water out or keep water from getting in, just build something that goes over it through the park.
yeah,
That's the answer.
cool.
Yeah, the water around here goes where it likes to go.
Yeah, it does,
Right.
especially after snow melt, certain times of year, like there's not gonna, it's gonna go over and it does what it wants to.
Yeah,
So I think as long as it's like simplified a little bit.
Yeah.
And kind of a general plan still, looks pretty good.
But keep in mind, you're doing it in a wetland, so you might wanna make a site visit just so that you can appreciate how you're gonna raise certain areas and where other areas you can get away with just, terrain.
so those little things are floodplain, I think.
That's why if it's all dirt trails and wooden stuff, I think it'll not affect anything
Yeah.
ecologically, I think, it'll be fine.
Yeah, so I guess we could eliminate the double loops, but still keep kind of the right side as the beginner course and the left side as the more advanced.
Yeah.
I think we've always been under the impression that like a crew will go create whatever you want in the bike park. So we weren't actually designing the features, but we're more so designing the space around it to keep pedestrians out from people jumping off their bikes. So we're trying to just disperse the traffic and keep the fishers along the river, keep the pedestrians along the road.
Yeah,
Okay,
Looks good.
Sounds good. Thank you for that feedback. That's very helpful. We finally have Meadows Park. This is the first time we're presenting this plan, and some of the updates include a park overlook #6, offering scenic views of the park. This is where the main park sign and park monument will be located. It also has a shading structure, seating, and a ramp into the skate park, #8. Also connecting to the bike and pedestrian trails that lead towards Greenway Park, and a pedestrian path and maintenance access, a ramp that is marked with the #9 that leads into Meadows Park Plaza, #13. There's an amphitheater looking into the plaza, and this is also where the restrooms #12 will be located. Just below this plaza, we are proposing a playground, #14. This to engage all ages. And we have the multi-court #11 and a second plaza #10 with seating and connections to the pedestrian trail in both ways. And I believe that covers the main features for this site plan. Are there any questions or thoughts about this proposal?
I thought we were pushing the skate park out to where they were just describing where the bathrooms were going to be. Cause that's where those like flower pots are, or when you come down that dirt hill into the skate park or where the basketball court is now. Not that. For the skate park.
I think you have to put the bathrooms on that end because of the access. I would want
The water access.
Yeah.
Is it my understanding though that we thought that part of the building was going to be, like, part of the bathrooms were going to be a ramp?
That was
or
one of the
something
concepts that we were given, yeah. was the
Yeah,
bathrooms
like
would
it
have
was-
like a ramp on the backside of it or something.
Up to the, yeah, like, we're gonna use the building, yeah.
So like the
I-
restrooms could like
I
stand
remember
on their
that.
app instead of having like a platform or like an entryway, just have the skate park and the bathrooms going into the skate park, and the skate park going right up to the bathroom.
And that's the kind of details too that you need like a skate park builder to like.
Right.
So
Be able to
Yeah.
do on more than. So, those are the kind of ideas you need to test to like an actual builder. And then they can decide whether or not they can do that or whatever.
Right.
There's no way we could coordinate one of those guys with one of these guys, is there, when they're doing this?
I mean,
So that they know.
once we get there, yeah. Totally,
Yeah.
once we're talking to builders,
Just wanna kick it, Bill.
yeah, I know you do.
Yeah, that was the entry, wasn't it? That's what we're talking about.
But I mean, it's like, that, and that's the kind of thing, kind of like the bike park, where as long as you get a general concept. Then I mean, there's certain things that can and can't happen,
Yeah.
so. Things could move around once.
Yeah, I feel like once you got someone who's designing it with someone who's going to build it, and then someone on this board who's talking about it, to all be present and actually talk about what can go where and how it can go there or something.
I do like that idea though, with the overlook kind of seating area and shade
Yeah,
area, cause we definitely need a little shade area, cause it's sunny
It's
over
hot.
I like the little park at the bottom of it too, actually.
there. Yeah, that's amazing, really good idea of the playground there, since it's multi-use park.
Yeah,
So maybe just the concept, including the idea of having where the flower park pots.
where the
are.
bathrooms are there, just
Being-
having a concept where the skate park makes
Yeah.
sense to
So
that
that kind of
bathroom.
time, the area they understand.
If you have
yeah.
like the overseating above with shade and everything, then feel like where the bathrooms are at could be utilized for part of the skate park as well.
Cool.
But just remember, if you're gonna put bathrooms in, you don't wanna put them lower than the sewer line.
Yeah, fair enough.
I hate to bring up that, I just wanna be a master of the apples.
That's a good.
It should roll downhill.
Downhill, and what about the bathrooms being on the overlook? On the street,
Oh, it'll be on the street.
somewhere near that overlook.
So, my understanding where those pots are is like, it's lower than the street.
Right,
It is.
it is.
That's an interesting idea right there.
So like where they have the overview. Raise that area. Or the overview where they had the seating and the shading, and put restrooms up there.
Or
That would
lower,
make sense.
because there's obviously the houses below the skate park and next to the skate park have.
I don't think there's any water down there though.
You got water right there at the park.
Water tap is on the top.
Yep,
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, right.
got a yard hydrant right there.
Oh, man. Well, the house is right next to it. Of the toilets.
Oh, right, I was just saying, you don't wanna put it lower than the street, that's all.
Okay. Fair enough.
You
Good
know,
idea.
Definitely.
uh,
Another engineering thing, I think.
yeah, a marvel, me and the loop.
Awesome, that looks really good.
Yeah,
So,
thank you.
I don't know if you caught all that, but yeah, the proximity of the bathroom should be probably level with water and sewer lines.
So do you want the restroom to move to that plaza area?
I think it'll be like above.
Yeah.
That's where the.
That's at
parking
street
is
level.
now.
If it's at street level, that'd be preferred, I guess.
You just don't want them lower than the street. Gravity's leaving mistress.
Well, yeah, thank you for the feedback. That's very helpful and to help the project move forward. That concludes our presentation for today. Jennifer, if there's anything else,
I guess with just moving the restroom to the street in Meadows Park, so it won't have the skateboard ramp to the side of it. And are you saying you want the skate park to expand into where those basins
Yeah,
are?
that was one of the concepts we talked about with maybe having a ramp on the backside of the restrooms.
Yeah.
But also, like he was just mentioning, if it's going to be below water level and we can't, pump sewage uphill or get, the water would be, I feel like an issue.
But
with
if you
the-
put a foundation under those restrooms that would raise the restroom to street level. And then you could have.
Because depending on how far out it goes out, yeah, could do
You know what I
that.
mean? You have like a little shop underneath them.
Yeah, you
Would that help you if there was a shop underneath there, would you find it official?
Yeah. There.
Oh, you really
That's all the-
So can we wrap that into concept then, you know, if you kept the
Yeah.
utility closet down there and Lori's
Foundation.
thing up.
There you go.
Okay, so keep the location with the ramp and just have the restroom on top of it. So it's at street level,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually.
Put like a utility
like a
closet
storage
underneath
closet.
Yeah,
restroom, yeah.
Well, and where the overlook would be too, any of that, you'd have to build out a little bit to create it, or use posts or something, but. It's such a steep hill right there, so yeah, maybe that or some
We could, yeah.
some
We could
solution.
We could explore this. So I guess we had
Remember,
talked
that's one
about,
side of the half pipe, gotta have an equal side.
Yeah.
Saying. We ought to get Tony Hawk in on board.
I don't know.
I don't know, springs on nothing on this skateboard.
That's right.
we had talked about maybe showing the picnic pavilion and the restrooms to the design review board. Do you still want that to happen, or do you want us to try to proceed with just finishing these conceptual plans? Because these are just conceptual. They're not final. You would use these in the conversation.
That's where right now, I don't know that would. At this point, I don't think it would help you that much. It's like we have a general conceptual plan, then we can introduce things as we get to them in our budget and everything too.
I think the reason that we wanted to potentially have them present was to make sure that all the materials were matching. So again, because they're conceptual, we probably wouldn't have you present until they're final. Right?
Yeah, and that might
Okay.
be. I don't know when.
Yeah.
Timeline that is, or when you guys need your projects completed and stuff too, but. We might be on a longer timeline than you are as far as some of these projects go. Like hopefully we get them all done. For the end of the summer, but I think
Yes.
it's a little slower timetable than that, so I think as long as there's a general good idea.
Well, I think we have really good input and we can move forward on all three of these parks. So I feel like the team can finish, like by next month, I feel like we can almost be close to. where it should be.
Yeah, it's really coming along.
Yeah. And then depending on like some final renderings and things, I think we should be able to finish in the next few months for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Awesome. It's
Cool.
looking really good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright, so. Next up, we have the park signage plan.
Okay, yes, so piggybacking off of some of their conceptual stuff, I know they have some monuments and some generic. This is the name of the park signage that they proposed to us, made of stone and things. I want us to consider, if you'll pass these down, some other options you guys may have to share. I can share with like Nick if you guys want to try to make it last longer. But, some considerations that I want us to all take and that I took in kind of preparing these options, and you can start to look through, you'll see that a lot of these are very similar to each other. One of the ideas being that a lot of these are, the concept of it being a structure and then a separate piece that is the sign. Some of these, the structure is made of wood. And then the sign is attached via something as simple as eye hooks and carabiners, so the sign could be swapped out. Seasonally, if we want to change the trails or anything like that throughout the season, something to consider. Some of these other structures, if you'll notice, some of the structures are actually wood, and then the part that the sign is attached to is metal. That's something I consider because of the elements. I'm not sure how long wood would last, and if we're trying to do something that's a little more permanent or everlasting, if the structure itself was made out of a steel material that was just coated in like a black lacquer, something to look nice, it's very easy for us to swap out signage as we see and leave the structure, and it shouldn't rust or anything like that. So just some considerations that I was taking. Also, these signs, most of these examples that you see where it's a structure and then the sign is within it. For permitting purposes, if we need permits and things like that, shouldn't be too difficult with the design review committee, because then it'll be a smaller square footage for the entire sign, because the sign portion is smaller than the entire structure. Some other things that I was trying to take into consideration with these is, as signs fade, we're going to want to replace these. We're not going to want them to be a really big price to replace these. We might even want to buy them in bulk, 3 or 4 at a clip, so that every summer we just have fresh, brand new ones that they don't look icky. We've all been to trailheads that the sign is so faded that you can't read it anyway. So these are some considerations that I tried to take in getting examples for us. I really am pushing for us to get something where it's a structure and then the signage is separate from the structure, and we could just attach it, as you can see in a lot of these. Some of them are just screws and things like that. And if we want to change the trails, we want to take out the bike park or something, we want to say the bike park is now part of it. Whatever happens, it gives us a lot of versatility. The thing, and I included, I think in a lot of these packets, an example of a stone sign. It's great if, I think, we want the name of the park to have a stone sign, it's grandiose, you know, big thing that says the name of it. But I think in the long run, that's one sign that's just gonna say one piece of information, and we want wayfinding information in a lot of these parks. We want people to know where things are, where the suggested use is, and things like that. I know I keep thinking the mountain bike park, cause that's my bread and butter, but I know the skate park is our priority, and so we want, like, even for the skate park, people to have that access. So that's why I included these in our packets, and just things that I want us to consider in what we approve, or what, if we need to take to the design review committee, what we decide to take to them. So thoughts on my observations and considerations?
Well, the only thing I had was, if wind is a consideration, I was just going to suggest, you know, well, if you have a sign that's protected and it just doesn't get a lot of wind, it's a moot point. But what I was just gonna say is, if you wanna make it more aerodynamic, what you can do is, instead of print on the sign, you can have it cut out. And so, you know, you have a hole in the size of an S or C, or, you know, SKATE, kind of thing.
Your plasma cutter cut out, yeah.
Yeah,
What are you thinking?
just so that, you can let the air through and it doesn't damage the sign, the wind around here, I mean,
You've seen it do some stuff now.
right?
Some of the signs around here have survived though, that aren't.
You're right.
high-tech,
Sure.
But like,
I will say that the county doesn't require signs to meet,
Like a wind.
winds, yeah, 130 mph exposure to wind loads unless they hit like 35 square feet or more of the actual sign itself, not including the structure. So that might be something to consider too, is as long as we can guarantee that the structure itself will uphold the wind speeds. And if not, then we start below the signs.
No, but that-
Just hold it
I
there.
think that's a good idea to have like, multiple signs that you can change out.
Yeah.
Just cause,
yeah, I agree.
if it's near something that's pebbly and it's windy. I mean, I don't know how many of you have had windows blown out from just, a windy pebble.
Well, even for vandalism too,
Oh,
if someone vandalizes it, then you just change it up.
It takes 2 seconds, you have to just get one out of the storage unit and unscrew it.
and put a camera on it, so you can see
Yeah,
the
but
next
truck
guy.
camera.
I do really like the idea of like a structure and then you can change that, like this one, I think looks really good. Like even this, like the words could potentially be cut out,
Yeah.
so, love that. And then, of course, like figuring out a font that's like consistent throughout the town, and whatever other things, it's just consistency, so it's not like different throughout Georgetown.
For the record.
Well,
So that they-
the design people are looking.
Oh, got it.
They're like, what is she?
So some of these are a little less of like a monument with just the name and a little more like informative and.
About the.
I pictured more like monument, name of the park, nothing else, but it's kind of sweet to have like.
Well, now you make a good
People
point.
have the park, yeah, info.
Yeah,
I think if they all had that,
Well,
it's maybe like.
It could be like, the park doesn't have a bathroom, it could be like, there's a bathroom in that part on the street,
And then you have a structure, like a same structure throughout the entire town. And then the signs can be created and like placed in and taken out. So like just a name or like information. Yeah, I love that idea. These look great.
Yeah,
Thank you guys.
yeah, they do look great. Those are great examples.
Thank you.
Those are cool.
What is next steps?
So, let's see, can you send that to these UTEP guys? Just
Yeah,
so they can see it?
are they on our most recent email chain that we all got? Because absolutely, I'll reply all with, all the attachments. and
So they
things.
can see it up
Yeah.
close?
Yeah, it's a big folder I have, yeah,
why don't you send it to me and then I'll
Perfect.
distribute it to them.
because we're trying to keep
It's effective
everything
as Tom, yeah.
centralized.
Perfect. I just have nothing to do.
I'll send them over.
Alright, anything else on the parks? Signage.
Should we, like, what is next steps other than just sending them along?
Yeah, what
I would
is,
say this group decides that they wanna replace all the signs to a uniform look throughout the town and pick one, make a recommendation to the board of selectmen and get that endorsed. And then I think this also dovetails with your budget discussion that you're gonna have in a few minutes, so. If you do prioritize sign project as a budget item for next year, this becomes one of those things and you can fast track that. And I think it also is gonna compete with some of these other projects that are in the master plan.
Okay, so maybe talk budget first and then next steps on providing recommendation.
Yeah,
Okay.
because like what you heard from the group here,
Mhm.
that's a big ticket item, right?
Yeah.
Any one of those projects that they've designed and the restaurant itself is $1 million.
Yeah.
So those are big projects, we're gonna have to plan phased over a number of years, but a sign project. You could do in 1 year, I think.
Okay. Cool.
Maybe something, would we need to put out like an RFP or something to like builders so that we can know what is possible for us to probably, I would assume?
Yeah.
Also, when you want the parks finished before putting up these nice signs that they're getting.
Well, I think that's one of the things that you very astutely were tuned into, that
if you have to add as a park, which Georgetown loves to add parks, we have more parks than vehicles in this town. So if you wanna add a new park, you don't wanna have to go swap out every sign in all your parks. You wanna be able to just go to your form and say, okay, we need a new one from the sign over here in Kevin's storage shed underneath the skate park.
Yeah.
We can just add that sign with a new name, so that's also very important for us to consider. So,
It could also act as a vehicle to tell people what the progress is, like,
Right.
you know, so that because the sign, yeah.
Right? Yeah, it could be like, this is the future site of.
I'll write it
Exactly.
again, and once it's there, then we
Oh,
release it.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
already there.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that's.
we built that, when we built that dead end trail that we named Rock Tunnel Dead End Trail, you'll need a sign for that.
Yeah.
Right. Don't let it with a sign that says, don't be like Rob, end up here.
If you do the signs, if you do the signs first, then you kind of have to, I mean, we have to really understand the plan for the parks, right? Like, you can't just put the sign and be like, oh, well, you came across some plumbing issue and now we have to put a bathroom where the sign is. So we really need to know if there's gonna be like that kind of, the permanent base structure, right?
Right.
We can't just put up signs wherever, we
Well,
gotta think about that,
The
right?
signs would also just be at like pre-existing parks, and then the new ones, it would be uniform sign that goes up.
Mhm.
So there's like already parks that we could get something set up,
Yeah, true.
so.
Okay, and then with something like Strauss Park,
I was just gonna say.
you might. It'll be a little tricky too, because everything's been pretty well packed in there. So like you might not want as big of a sign as Strauss Park, you might not need as much stuff to explain it also. Although we'd also talked in the past about putting up information on the back underneath the
Yeah.
awning. So like some of the trail, you might just want, say Strauss Park and nothing else out front, but then if you wanna do the information about stuff, you could put a ton of information at that part. Kind of underneath the overhang and badge.
Surprisingly, there's a lot incorporated in signs for parks because of those kind of things, and, you know, they're just talking about. It's easy to put on the sign a symbol for restrooms or handicap restrooms or trails, but if you put something in there that's very complicated, like a skate park, and you wanna give more information about that, then you're talking about a whole separate sign complex that, you know, you're having directions, so, but you want that all to have a consistent look and color and message, and so the DRC really likes to have directions in long, big, thick pamphlets, you know, so you're gonna wanna develop that SOP for what signs are gonna look like, so it's gonna be a very complicated project. It's not just so easy as just picking out a sign.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to really get involved in this. Which is great, I mean, that's what you're here for, right?
Yeah.
Better than Kevin and I, can.
So we should come up with an SOP to suggest to the DRC, or the DRC will give us their SOP that they probably already have for sign.
No, I think well, you're gonna have
Or no, we'll
guidelines from
have-
them.
Oh,
But you'll want to say, here's what we wanna do with our signs, and there's gonna be different sign uses, right? From just the entry, here's City
Right.
Park, to what Nick was talking about in terms of directions and certain aspects of those signs, and you're gonna wanna lay out everything you can think of. So that when, about 10 years from now, when we're not around, and the next group, people come through here and say, we need to put a sign over this brand new park. They can just go look through like something like this and go, here's the sign manual, oh, and here's what we're gonna put in that park, and here's what it's gonna say. So you're doing all the work for future generations here for the community.
I'll still be on board.
Yeah.
Guidelines first, and then
Of course,
like, we
yeah.
can put together an SOP.
You probably can find those online under the DRC.
Oh, perfect, okay, so
Can you refresh my memory on what SOP is?
Standard operating procedure.
Oh,
It's a favorite little acronym in town of Georgetown.
should remember.
It's very important.
So I can work on that for next, I can work on that for next. That for next.
If you just look under boards and commission, DRC short.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'll come
So you
back,
need
or I'll
someone
come
to-
back.
I actually forgot it.
In the meantime, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Alright, so we have an understanding of the park signage plan. We'll get over
We're
it.
talking about budget.
On to the 2026 parks budget. And what Dennis went around and passed to everybody that you had when we sat down, was just a good little list over of park projects we have coming up.
This isn't anything official, this is a cheat sheet for you to discuss.
Come up with ideas, anything that comes to mind that we might want to throw into our budget, we'll prioritize what over what. What should come first, what we can put aside for now.
So Kevin and I are gonna take care of the administrative side, like how many dollars are in the parks budget for supplies, for paper towels or paper or anything like that. But there are some very important things that we kind of view to discuss and make recommendations on. One thing that was discussed and decided by this board last year was Kevin needs help. So a full-time FTE needs to be added to the team for the Parks Department. This was done, I think, mid-year, so the money wasn't budgeted for that. So there was some consternation on how to rearrange the budget. Beth was working very diligently to try to figure this out, and then we got to the point where Kevin and I got together and said, we're gonna be hiring seasonals anyway, let's not push this and change the budget all around, let's just add a couple more seasonals, so we got one more, right, Kevin?
Yep.
And so we were able to add an extra seasonal within the budget without changing it, get us to the end of the year. And now we're going to properly budget for that FTE, so that's why you see that on your cheat sheet, one FTE, we're counting on there. Unless somebody here says, no, let's rethink that, but I think that's a pretty smart move to have a full-time laborer added to the budget for the parks to help Kevin.
You know, I gotta tell you, you got a lot of new parks coming up. With the, down by the lake, and I know that they've probably, signed on to maintain it for a while, but it's gonna eventually fall under, and he can't handle what he's got.
This town's extremely busy.
Yeah, he can't handle what he's got.
It is.
There's no reason why he shouldn't have a full-time employee.
And next year I would gather, you're gonna be asked for another one.
I was gonna say,
And we'll be like, one, two, to say, yes, that's a good idea. More. So what Rob was talking about is the Bighorn people, when they finish their project there, they're gonna donate the trail that goes around the lagoon and that Bighorn now owns. So we're gonna have to maintain that. We're doing a lot of that right now, the doggy stuff.
The trash can.
Yeah. And then they're building a park between the existing condos and the new 5 buildings that they're gonna start building this fall. And then they're gonna donate that to the town, so we're gonna have to maintain that as well. We are negotiating a contribution from them between $5,000 and $10,000 a year from the HOA to help maintain that. And that will be in perpetuity, but we haven't landed on a final number with them. That's gonna come to the board in the next month or so,
That's monthly.
annually.
Um,
So what we've projected is it's gonna be about a half a day a week for the person to go through, do any mowing
Okay, got it.
and minor pickup and maintenance. And then what we don't wanna do is make them pay for everything, and here's the theory behind that. We want that park to be for everybody in the community. We don't want the HOA to say, wait, we're paying for that, it's ours. So it has to be in cost share with the entire community, so that's why we're trying to limit our reliance on the HOA fees. Plus, if we load up the fee responsibility of the HOA and the HOA goes away, all of a sudden Kevin's got a big hole in his budget, and then that park you can imagine if the funding goes away, that park turns into a hole. We don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
So we're working on that, and that's gonna come to you, and you're gonna see exactly what the plan is, but. So that FTE is a done deal, does anybody disagree with that as just a given for that budget?
No,
Okay, and so then the rest of those things that I put on there were things I pulled out of this master plan, and I'm not sure whether it's all been done before, but Kevin has made some really positive headway with regard to City Park this year. We've got money in the budget for fostering a place to be repaired. He's got a plan to do a refurb of the gazebo, which is in here. He's been planting trees like a madman this week. He's going to be planting more, what are the purple plants you're putting out there?
Lilacs.
Lilacs along Rose Street, because the impediment for lilacs have been lack of water, but he just finished building a bunch of sprinklers out there, so we're gonna really cram that part of the park with lilacs to make it a big purple explosion, hopefully. in a year or two. So he's really done great things out there with City Park, but now we have some other ideas of things to pursue. I'm not a really big fan of planning stuff. It kind of frustrates me. I'm more of a, let's start spending money and building stuff. So I really want to get some parks program for this next coming budget. So I'm pleading with you, please pick a couple of projects and let's kick off some construction. Let's get some dirt flying out on some of these projects.
I have a couple questions on what you just said. My first question. So this $5,000, I know you're like, well, this $5,000 a year, we don't wanna ask for too much, but was that number, like, is that a quantitative number or that was like qualitative, like they threw that at us? Just because I know that they're charging $350 a month in HOA dues over there, and $350 a month times 12 months alone is almost 1 year of what we'll be collecting. So at that point, should we almost do a percentage base and say, well, what are your HOA dues? And then we want 2% of your HOA dues or 0.5% or whatever, you know, the town works out. And I'm just I'm asking from a curiosity, like you may have already done this and you're like, oh, 5,000 is that, but I'm just
No, they
curious.
asked me
Okay,
what I would like, and one thing that government is constrained by is that we can't just demand money. We have to show why we want that money. Otherwise, it becomes a tax. So for us to ask for money, we have to lay out why and what it's paying for. So I backed out what Kevin costs. And then we estimated the maintenance requirements for that small little pocket park they're gonna build is gonna be what? And I just shot in the dark and said it's half a day a week. So I took the hourly rate, I fully burdened it with benefits, 40% is what we typically do. I figured out what the cost a week would be, then I figured out a month, then I figured out a year. And I came up with a little over $5,000, and then I told them I wanted a little bit more than that, because we're gonna have an escalator clause in the contract.
Yeah.
So they wanted to start at 5,000 plus 5% a year. Then just recently, they offered to give us more property. So all of the property along Argentine, and Ron knows this, he just voted on it. All of the property along Argentine going from the mini roundabout,
yeah.
that fiasco, and then south to, what was the limit?
It's right where
Old townhomes are.
where lot 7 is.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know where the old condos are that are now, right there?
Right.
There's a long strip of property called lot 6 that they don't need, so they wanna give it to the town. That we may use for a future right of way, if we have to expand the road, or we can make parking out of it, because we want parking for people to drive up and take people to that park, right? So I told them if they give us that, then that 5,000 has to go up, because we're gonna have to maintain it. So that's what we're in the middle of haggling about right now.
So that's a question.
So that's the short answer to your question. Sorry.
No, I was honestly confused. My other question was, does the Foster's Place have its own funding and its own fund and their
Yes.
own bank? Like, they just got their own account and everything, so is that gonna come out of our budget then?
No,
No.
they donated $18,000 for this refurb project, and that's what's gonna fund. The repairs, if you go out there right now, you'll notice there are sections of the Foster's Place Jungle Gym where the wood is deteriorated and falling in. There's some padding that's falling apart that we have to repair, then we have to go back through and repaint the whole thing, and that's gonna be paid for by that grant.
Gotcha, okay. So we do have to budget then that grant money in.
It's budgeted for this year, so it has to be done.
Do it this year.
Kevin's trying to get that project done before the end of this calendar year.
Oh, okay, got it. So those are my questions, guys, I'm done. That's my do.
Okay.
Right.
One last thing I wanna throw at you, because you may have heard about this, but we just did a planning charrette for the properties that are up west of North Argentine. Do you know where the helipad is? So that area from the Georgetown Lodge up to the corner where the little mini roundabout is, most of that property is owned by the town of Georgetown. And we had a planning open house for that to decide what we want to put there. And the community came to an open house and they said basically they want to maintain that as open space or active park property. So when that actually is dedicated as that, you're gonna have more property for parks that you're gonna have to say, here's what we wanna do there. And one of the most popular ideas for part of that property is, guess what? A skate park. So a second skate park is something that they want to plan for up there near the highway with lights and, you know, access from Argentine for that part of the community. And so you'll really want to consider what type of skate park would be planned for Meadows. So that it's not in competition with the skate park facilities that we might be planning in a different part of the community. So very exciting, I think. And if you also didn't know, there is a water feature up there that comes underneath the highway. And it trickles right there next to the Georgetown Lodge as a natural flowing little creek. Which we really think would be cool if we could open that up to the public and use as something that they could access. So that's something to consider for a future project for this group.
You know, before long, the sheriff's department's gonna have to like get a skateboarding cop.
Give
Two
them a-
skateboarding, two parks, one near the road. It's just. Skateboarding EMTs, skateboarding firemen.
All of the above, cycle selectmen. Okay, so does anybody have any discussion or ideas about which project would be at the top of your list?
The skate park would be at the top of mine.
The one that they were talking
Yeah.
about today, over the map.
Since that's one that's already going into concept and we've been talking about for a while, just to keep pushing and moving on that one.
For a long time.
Yeah, 20 years.
And they didn't have any features, did they? I mean, I know it was conceptual.
That was
Well,
just for the outside.
I mean, we actually have
Yeah.
plans from a company a while back. I think COVID and Strauss Park.
Yeah.
Slowed everything down by just massive amounts of time, I think, but.
So is everybody pretty much on the same page there, that your top priority for the next big project would be the skate park?
Yeah.
Other than the signs, I mean, it sounds like we might be able to fit the sign project in.
In with the skate.
Yeah.
And that might, cause that'll be completable faster than a skate park.
Sounds like we'll need.
So if you could kind of like get that going at the same time, you could complete that while the skate park's being figured out.
Does somebody wanna take that list and just start writing numbers next to the ones so we can prioritize these, cause it would be helpful to go away from here having a multi-year plan. So if the skate park is next year, put number one next to the skate park.
My question about that is, a lot of the funding for that would fall onto the board, because we'll need to write grants, or is there like existing funding that you would be able to fund?
So the way I like to do it
Yeah,
is if you land on a project,
yeah,
the first thing we would do is we would identify the elements in a project like that that are perfect for grant applications. And then we would go out and try to find that grant funding as fast as we can. So if there is a statewide program that likes skate parks, that's what we would jump on right away. And we would then introduce the budget to the board with your recommendations, and we would show that project as being partially funded with grant money.
okay,
And then that makes it easier for the board to, yeah, we'll get on board with that project because you're looking for grant funding for that. And that means we're not having to fund it fully with general fund money.
yeah,
And it also is more attractive to everybody if you're looking at grant funded, grant supported projects. The sign project probably won't lend itself to grants, just because everybody's got signs in all of their parks. But there might be some general park projects that, programs at the state level that has grant money that wayfinding signs are always funded. So we could also attach it to those. So I think that our first thing would be pick the project, identify the elements in the project that are right for grant funding, and then go find those grants right away.
okay, and so it sounds like the skate park has been something that's been talked about a lot on the board. So like in like the past, I'm just curious what has like halted the project?
Money,
Funding?
money.
Okay, so. if-
Money and planning, you know, nobody really had a, you know, nobody came from it from a professional approach.
Okay,
And so, you know, we always had like ideas and things like that, but, you know, nobody really wanted to take a jackhammer to that basketball.
Like we had
Yeah.
a company come out
and do designs. We actually had a plan and I don't remember what exactly all happened with that. We decided Strauss Park needed to happen first.
Yeah,
Okay,
And then
It's like a
that went,
business.
that was not supposed to last as long as it did.
Okay.
Complete. And I think the price of that, like, double, tripled
okay,
throughout the course of it.
Yeah.
So like, I think that was the problem.
yeah,
You had to remove the
And
tree.
and it took a long,
Well,
it was a lot bigger project than it sounded like. It sounded like an easy
That's
project.
good. You know the DHM master plan? I mean, we had a landscape architectural firm basically give us an idea of what our parks ought to look like. And we bought that, you know, we have it on file, don't we?
Yeah.
So I mean, that was really, you know, we looked at that and then our pandemic hit. And then all of a sudden we realized we didn't have the funds to go forward with all this.
okay.
And so we just kept the plan, pretty much got through, you know, but
Yeah, it was like a
we
10-year.
started
plan.
on Strauss.
So I just wanna make sure that if we're saying skate park is our number one that we wanna do, that we all are gonna like buckle up and like get the funding for it. Is that, cause that's our responsibility, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me say this as a caveat. The project that they were talking about, you're not gonna get done in 1 year.
No.
Okay, yeah,
So if you wanna do a skate park, then I would suggest you get that project on your list and then you phase it.
okay,
Like, we need to get the skate park part of the project done first.
okay,
Then maybe 2 years from now, we'll build a restroom,
okay,
okay, then maybe we'll put in the playground.
okay,
Like in the short term, it makes sense to have like a porta potty shelter or something,
Yeah,
something we could do cheaper.
yeah,
Than to
so
like
we
kill
can
the
be
rest of the renovate.
phased, basically is what you're
right,
saying.
but the importance of the concept is so that you leave that space open and designated
Got
for the
it.
restroom at some point.
Yeah,
But the skate park's gonna cost you a lot of money.
Yeah.
If you do it right, you don't wanna cheap out on it.
No.
Right,
yeah,
and then you're gonna also wanna I think you wanna take a field trip to Idaho Springs.
mhm,
Because you honestly, you don't wanna build the same thing they're building.
totally,
And you wanna find and interview some skate park design experts to come in and, you know, give you presentations and show you what their visions would be. That's gonna take you some time, so,
okay,
yeah, the important thing is to say, we wanna do the skate park.
but I think
Think
that,
it's gonna cost $400,000.
Yeah.
We want the board to endorse that as part of the
yeah,
budget,
I
and
just want,
then get moving down the path.
I just want to like call out that it's been said that it's the number one project and then identify like what happened to avoid doing that from it like falling off.
We tried to get funding for this at one point, but we were a little too late in the process and I think our step at that point was to ask the commission for approval to approve the skate park so that we could apply for the funding, but we weren't able to like put that together in time.
And the builders we talked to last time, like, they were okay, but it wasn't
Great,
great, so it was kinda like. It was kinda like, well, we should just go ahead and do this, cause it's not gonna last.
yeah,
'Cause it was like prefabricated structures and stuff and. It would be cool, but like the town spent money on ramps like 15 years ago, remember those blue ones?
Yeah.
15, 20 years ago? And I mean, the wind destroyed them, and I mean, this
Yeah.
stuff would have been stronger than that,
Now.
but prefab stuff doesn't last around here, and. So I think like you're going the right way, but like, wasn't quite the right way either, so it's hard to like. I don't know, so I feel like we need to get a few skate park builders to send people out and like look at our spot too.
yeah,
And I would think to start getting quotes.
If you tell me that this is what your priority project is, I'm gonna go talk to my colleagues in Idaho Springs and say, how much was your project? And when they say it's $500,000, I'm gonna find out square footage, what
Okay.
facilities they built into it, get all the details, and then I'm gonna scale a cost estimate for the budget based on what they're doing in real dollars. That way, the board has something tangible that they can consider. And then when they say yes, or maybe they'll say no, wait till next year, but at least now you've got your marching orders and you can start working towards something.
And I'm really good friends with, actually, he's a skateboarder, not quite on the pro line, but he's got his own companies and everything, and one of his best friends or close friends was like responsible for building the skate park in Idaho Springs. So just reaching out to him and get like builders out here and have
Yeah,
them.
I got a couple.
Yeah, and have, some guys come out and at least take a look at what's
Peggy?
possible.
Oh,
No.
Do you need one of us to, do we need to draft an RFP at this point for these other, like, do you want us to reach out to them, or do you want us to draft an RFP for us to post and then reach out to us with their numbers for just to try, like, for us to take to the, and just take the board and then do it that way?
You guys are advisory, you don't have to do all the heavy
Okay,
lifting, that's what
that's-
staff can do. And
We
then
just get the
we'll
same
bring it to
form.
you, so if we have an RFP
Okay,
that we
gotcha.
draft for you, we'll bring it to you. You'll nitpick it, tell us, we don't like that part, we want this part added, and then we'll make that change. Then we'll send it out to our bidders. Bring that in, we'll compile all the results, and then we'll give it to you, and you get to pick who you would want to be the bidder. Then we give it to the board of selectmen and they make the award, that's how it kind of works. And the reason we do it that way is to keep the separation of, duties, and you guys don't have to. Because quite honestly, I would bet that had an impact on why it kind of fell through the cracks in the first place. You remember Beth ran the show and did all the work, right? And Beth had a real job and she had a real family and she had other things she had to do. And when things got in the way, these projects will just kind of languish.
Yeah.
And I'm here and I get paid to make sure they don't languish.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
a lot
that's super helpful, I just wasn't sure, like,
And I just shove it on Kevin anyway.
okay, that was helpful, I just needed that clarity, but the skate park is number one, it sounds, I would
Okay.
get on that.
What's number two?
I would think that would be like Greenway Park.
Greenway Park, yeah.
And that's with, assuming that the sign project is a go. You wanna go with sign project for 2026, correct?
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait, so when we do the sign as number two then?
I put them both.
And put the sign and the skate park almost at the same because they're gonna overlap.
1 and 1A.
Cause the skate park
Okay.
would take longer to
Cool.
figure out.
I was just gonna
It's a
say
big
this-
budget, multi-year projects, and those are the ones we kind of need to prioritize. The stuff that is lower hanging fruit, we can fit in, right?
Cool.
Figure out the big rocks and then we can fill in the rest.
A lot of the sign project is gonna be done here in this room by putting together the manual and all that kind of stuff. And then when the board endorses it, then Kevin can go out and start buying signs and getting those designed and putting those installed during the course of the year, so.
Okay.
Okay, Greenway is number 2.
And I think Greenway might not be, I think that we might be able to do a lot with that for like less than some things, cause I think it's gonna be a lot of dirt and stuff, and not necessarily like
More just like.
massive construction stuff.
No, especially if it's like rock and log features, I mean.
Yeah.
That's something we miss out. If we're gonna be clearing trees too in there, we can use some of those trees to clear for features and stuff like that, so.
They made that one B.
Dan will build it, he was on the trails. So,
He's got the keys to the truck.
get some beers for the trail boys. and
So we need there, boys will be around it in no time.
Yeah.
Okay, number 3,
I was gonna say City Park, just cause it's a flagstone path. It's easy.
What path is that? Just,
I think it's the one on the
is the path?
east side, is that right?
yeah, it's on the
City
Kind
Park.
of like that sidewalk basically.
The sidewalk on the east side.
Next to Foster's Place and you go north.
House. Yeah, next to
Yeah.
Foster's Place Town.
Oh, yeah.
Basically like a sidewalk goes inside.
But it's inside, yeah.
That's not gonna be a
It's
lot
always
expensive project, that's gonna be a lot of pulling flagstone out, redoing the base and putting the flagstone back.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's just
So-
like dropping.
But that's a small project.
That's
So we've got.
Number three,
I mean, flagstone's expensive, right? But I'm trying to visualize walking on that and if there was a lot of cracked flagstone.
not that bad.
Kevin, do you remember whether a lot of that flagstone has to be replaced or does it just have to be reset?
We're at City Park.
Yeah.
So that flagstone on the east side. Kent Brown gives a minute, he hired somebody to. Reset all that like 3 years ago, but they used all the little pieces.
Oh,
So none of them are big pieces.
we have to buy some anyway.
Don't we
I
have
get
some?
The town paid $35,000 for them to do that.
Do we need it, sir?
I mean, it's not that bad,
Like,
it's just little pieces.
does that need to be the flagstone?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So the Centennial,
Okay.
Like, don't we gonna do it?
They know,
Yeah.
I thought we had some huge slabs over at Centennial Mill.
HGI does,
They were-
Those have been slowly being used around now.
and I actually owe them some.
Blackstone.
We used some for another project that we weren't supposed to use. I have to buy some and put it back.
Better to ask for forgiveness.
Before they notice.
So every morning, one of them goes over.
Ask them to donate it to the town.
You can ask them to donate it.
Ask them to donate it to the town.
Good,
Good.
good.
It sounds to me like Greenways and City Park are almost the same type of thing, they're just site development projects that are low hanging fruit,
Yeah,
and they're all baby projects. So
Kinda
the
easy to
only
make.
Big project, we have a skate park, and the other three we're considering little projects.
so it's almost like we wanna make this
Agree
into
with you,
two
kind of
things,
big-
just like some of these like little things that get repaired or fixed. And then the big projects have skate parks, you
That's a
know.
good point,
Might be
because
good.
we have two separate kinds of projects. We have capital projects, which are like the parts that we talked about, but there are also operational projects. So like Kevin did the sprinkler system. That's an operational project where he came to me one day and said, Dennis, I wanna do this in the project, and he had money in his budget that he could do it. And it wasn't a big ticket item, or you had $10,000 in trees that were in the budget that he could go do that. We didn't have to go and say, okay, 2 years from now, we're gonna do this big project. So the flagstone repair, he could do probably just under his normal services or some type of amount of money that gets put in the budget itself. The other one, though, I think is a little bit more. What was the other one again? It was,
Greenway Park site development.
No, it was the,
For the skate park.
well, the other one was the Argentina open space, cause that's gonna be completed in the fall, that's another like kind of pet project that's on its way.
Where
Was it the
Asian.
amphitheater thing?
I don't know.
That's the one between the developments? Or do
no,
you do
you
it
said, you said something about this is a low hanging fruit one.
The signage or the.
City Park.
Of Greenway and
City
the
Park
Argentine.
Flagstone.
Maybe it was the signage one, but that's
15
not,
hours.
that's not an inexpensive project, so no, I wouldn't.
The dog park is like.
Yeah.
Going covered picnic shelter on that with the.
And the other thing too is, Woodland Park was already park, and maybe, you know, a covered picnic shelter, you know, it's already got volleyball and. You know, dog park upgrades with regard to water and things like that,
The volleyball's pretty.
as well as like games.
They're banking.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
That would be like a facelift project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
So yeah, I think that's.
It's not like a major
Um,
capital project.
No.
No, but one of the thoughts that has been discussed is making the dog section smaller. Like cutting the whole park in half.
Oh, you said a small
And
dog.
maybe, yeah,
Right.
designating Worland Park, half of it for active recreation, because right now. Worland Park, when there's dogs using it, it's only for dogs, you know, kids can't run around in there and.
Oh, right.
And then we also have an issue with cleanup.
I actually used to play baseball in the park at Palm.
Yeah.
So I guess one of my curiosities, because this was something that we discussed before, we're talking about the park. Something else that was brought up, I wanna say a year ago, and I was really in support of this, I think Beth brought it up. Was before we consider, I think, making the dog park smaller. Should we consider having a section of the dog park for small dogs first? Because that is already a point of contention. I think Beth was the one who brought it up, how like that's already an issue, is that there's nowhere for the tiny dogs to go.
Yeah.
Before we talk about making it smaller, we already have it half size half the
Or
year.
if you
So
have like,
like for that ice
so if you
rink.
did something like that, you could kind of like use the ballpark, a section of it and sort of, make it, like. A small dog puppy baseball diamond.
Yeah.
With an outfield for the, you know, for everybody, so I mean, from that standpoint, you're kind of you know, you're using the existing backstop and fencing. As well as the outline of the baseball park, but now you're just cleaning it up and fencing it off for little dogs.
I think those are all great ideas, and I think that all falls under the umbrella label of Worland Park Dog Park renovation, right?
Right.
And so if you want a program that for next year or the year after that, we can start working towards grant applications for that and doing a proper design for restructuring how that works. I think that's a very great idea, working off that, because we get complaints all the time where some wild big dog is terrorizing people.
My little behind.
Oh, that would do?
No,
No.
big one, I swear, like the big dopey one, probably terrorist.
So if you want to program Worland Park renovation, let's put that for an out year, make that a number 3 or number 4 project. I don't have my list, is there another one?
I was thinking,
One that's on
Wait,
there
yeah,
that I had asked to put on the agenda, which was next, which is the skating rink that Paul Butler brought it to us last year. Either
At the
moving
hotel.
it to somewhere uptown for the winter time on Christmas market and all that for people to have somewhere to skate and have like an ice rink. But then my concern was there's so many people who like to play hockey on the rink that's down there at the dog park that if we were to move the rink, they would have to utilize some way for us to play hockey. So maybe either finding a spot to put it where that is still utilized for hockey and people to skate around, or have a
Basketball
rink
court.
down at Worland Park and have a rink somewhere uptown. And the one being uptown was strictly just for skating around. When people are up there on the weekends or for the event, you
Right.
just have a skate rink, and if people wanna do some like hockey or something, they can have that at Worland Park.
well, they wanted to put it in that basketball court next
That
to
was my suggestion last year, like he wanted to do it right here in this parking lot.
Yeah, you wanna do anything,
Yeah, so,
that one's better.
but
Then
the,
you will sell that.
well, you'd lose the parking on like the beer fest that they do right there,
Yeah.
the other events that they do right there in that tent, you know, it's a.
We're introducing a conversation with the school district to see if we can do something better with that basketball court over here.
Yeah.
Like
So that basketball court, if we put a rink up in there, it's gonna be a smaller rink.
Yeah.
Be a little.
And that's why I think it'd be great to get another one, that way that would be just for skating around.
Yeah.
Like, if it was a tiny one, you know, like you're saying, it would be a smaller rink,
Right.
and then, I mean, yeah, just have.
So
a
let's put a project down on your list called multi-use / skating rink. And you don't have to know where it's gonna go yet, you just know that that's a recreational need that you wanna find a spot
So
for
it's,
program.
that rink is gonna be like $6,000.
The temporary,
Roughly about.
A temporary rink,
yeah.
6,000.
I'm talking about something maybe that's got a concrete base with a drain. That you can plug, fill, and then in the summer it becomes something else. I don't know, maybe it's a,
That basketball court does need a renovation to it,
Yeah,
I
well,
mean,
it's
you
just-
could redo the court with a drain in there, and then all you have to do is set up your walls and your sheet for the water, and then you could fill it, and then just use the court itself to drain it or something.
just there's ideas.
So it's utilized in the summertime as well.
Box lacrosse, you can get box lacrosse.
School district, was that right?
Kevin's already writing down how many more people he's gonna go.
That need a rink, so
And it's already added a little.
we are gonna need to order a designer for our rink soon,
How much is that gonna be?
couple $1,000.
Okay, so we'll program that.
Yeah, the administrator usually orders it,
Okay,
I'll get with it,
okay.
we're gonna need to do that.
So we don't have any ice rink for this winter for Borland? Right now, we got rid of the old ice rink.
no, we-
Well, I got all the panels, but every year,
Those
you
are
have to get the line.
You know,
We're gonna get a liner though for this year from Borland.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
he's
Sorry,
gonna.
I was like, wait.
Yeah. So we'll do that during the week.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can we just go over where, like, what numbers everyone has really quick? Cause I think we've all kind
Why
of,
don't you read your off your
okay,
numbers?
I don't know if this is right, number one, skate park,
That's what I got.
number 1A is the signage,
I'm that.
yes?
Yes.
Okay. Number 2, Greenway Park and trail water connection.
Yes.
Number 3, this one is where I think we kind of fell off, the city park or the flagstone path.
Right, that was kind of not a capital improvement, but, or I'm sorry, not a capital project, but just a operational improvement.
So is that like number 3?
No, just make that an operational project,
Operational,
and
okay.
we'll just take care of that in our normal budget.
Okay, and then, so then number 3 is a multi-use skating / skating, oh no, wait, number 3 is Whirling Park.
That's right.
Okay. And then, do we have a 4?
Pizza park?
Do we talk about pizza park?
We haven't talked
No.
about it. It's
So,
about
right,
Okay, like 15 and 8.
You know where the car chargers are?
Run across the.
If you look, right beyond, I mean, Beth had a point, if you look beyond those trees, there's a tremendous plateau up there.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, she made the suggestion as an RV park, but I guess nobody wants an RV park down there.
I know.
I'm getting a strict thumbs down from Lexi, so that's her vote. Anyway, but there is more land there than meets the eye, and so there's some opportunities just so that, you know, just for improvement, but, you know, we've got a lot, you guys have got a lot on your plate already. By the time you get to Pizza Park, it's gonna be a few years down the road, but, you know, you can certainly talk about it and look at the site and.
Are there any small plans for that place, though? Like.
I've got some plans up here, but I can't talk about it. In this meeting. So let's just do this, trust me on this. Put Pizza Park renovation down on your project list.
Number
And
4.
Put it number 4, and if the things that we're working on come. Get some legs, we might be able to move it up in the schedule. It involves some collaboration with some other agencies, and they're working on whether they can do it or not, so I have to wait to see if they can participate. And if they can, then it's gonna be the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life.
Perfect.
And I'm not overplaying that.
Another island.
And then Argentine open space, this is need to be on the list because it's completed in the fall.
That would be we'll call it the Bighorn Park for now, but we have to come up with a different name because that's not gonna fly with anybody in this community.
But it's part of the 2025 budget.
No, none, I think the only one that you're gonna see included in this budget is gonna be the number 1.
So do we need to like prioritize that one? at
That's
all?
what I'm gonna do, when you give me your list in order.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try to put numbers to these.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna try to legitimately say, we can afford this in these years. I'm gonna give you then a long, what we call a CIP, capital improvement program. For at least 5 years, and you're gonna see these projects sprinkled over this period of time with numbers attached to them.
okay,
And then you can know for the next 5 years what this group has on your plate for capital projects for parks.
And that'll be the sign right outside the skate park.
This is important because this is how you get grant money.
yeah,
This is how you get in front of the board of selectmen and get on their radar screen so they know what money requests are coming.
Okay.
But the Argentine Park that is going to be donated to the town that you're gonna have to maintain is gonna be a finished park. So you're not gonna have to invest monies. You're just gonna have to take it over and maintain it, and Kevin's gonna have to maintain it. The other side of the street, when they give the plan for that, you're gonna have to discuss what you wanna see happen there.
okay,
And I will bring that to you for your separate discussion and planning purposes, and then we will plug that into that timeline at some point.
okay.
Can I ask whatever happened or why? So, at one point, Craig was giving us the land, we were designing the park. And everything, he was showing up to these meetings and we were telling him our ideas, and he was telling us his ideas, and he was gonna give us the whole thing, and I guess we were designing it. And then it seemed like something happened where maybe he didn't like our ideas or something, and like they're gonna design it themselves and give it to us. And then he started like naming the park too, and I remember he had a name for it on his plans. And so I was just curious, that was the last I really heard of it, and so I was curious, like, is he naming the park, and what kind of park, I guess, are they putting in? Cause at one point we were talking about like a natural park and having all these like natural playground features. And we had all these examples and of different park features.
Right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
nice.
great.
Yeah, that's the park we're talking about.
Yes, right.
Yeah, that's the park we're talking about, yes.
Yes,
That's not all flying no more.
that's,
So
That's
he
the
basically
park.
decided that he wanted to.
No, I
design
think you're
himself
talking
and
about-
Give it to us?
Creighton was probably talking about down by Bighorn Sheep, right?
Yeah, Bighorn Park, which is this one,
And you know how they wanted to put an amphitheater down
That
there?
was on the list.
that's the park. That is the park they're donating to us. They had an
That's
open
what
house,
they
they had a public charrette, they had complete planning process. They said, here's what the final one looks like. Everybody attended from that part of town and said, yeah, here's our ideas. And they finalized that. It went to the DRC. The DRC approved it. That's the part.
Okay,
Now-
so are they naming it then too now,
No.
or no, the
Oh,
name that they
I'm just
picked?
calling it Bighorn Development Domain.
Right.
So I
No,
call
he
it.
had like other name for it, it wasn't called Bighorn Park either, and he was presenting the
Linear.
Linear, thank you.
It's a designation trying
And,
trying
okay,
to tell them apart.
so
So
they're
it's not
not
named
naming
that.
the park, they're
Yeah.
just giving us the park, and then we're naming the park,
The board of selectmen will end up naming the park.
whereas the
But they
town,
don't
yeah.
want you to say, we think it should be Nick Park. And then everybody go, oh, another Nick, all in favor? Kevin Park, but
Got
yes,
it.
I'm sorry for the
Okay.
confusion.
No,
That
that's
is-
great, so he did design it, and he's giving it to us designed, and then we're gonna name it as a town and everything
He's gonna give it
ourselves.
to us fully built.
Built the design build it.
Yes.
And that's different than the actual shoreline of the lagoon though, right?
No, I
Yeah,
think
that's
he
all
did that
done,
too.
and that's coming with it too.
Yeah, he took over the whole project, cause he didn't like our ideas.
Cause it will have it like
That's
the
what
canoe
happened.
storage,
Oh,
like the
I
new
know.
lantern area.
No, that's a
Hated our
separate.
ideas.
Oh,
no.
And you don't wanna give it to us, and we're designing it.
If you guys want that project, that.
And I need to go because I'm supposed to be at the airport in like 20 minutes.
Oh, good.
Oh.
Well,
Ooh, you're not,
you're not gonna
Oh,
make.
God, dude.
Not gonna go, get up a baby,
oh,
and they're not gonna be happy.
Not gonna be late.
I'm really sorry about that. Yeah, cause I'm already gonna be like 40 minutes late.
You're
Sorry.
No, 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 you
Thank you.
can get out of here. Good to see you, Dan.
Okay, you guys, I'm here next.
thanks, Dan, bye.
If Kate didn't send you the plan that Bighorn had for that project, I can have her do that. Have you?
I don't think I've seen it.
I didn't see the final.
Okay.
Yeah.
We now have a Google, folder drive, so she can actually put it in there. And then, everyone can look at all the resources there.
That's a good idea.
Yeah,
How do you access them?
she sent it out to everyone.
Oh.
You can resend it, but she shared all of us on it,
Okay,
so, you can take a look at everything.
It's in your email.
well, if you send it to the selectman email, that just got resurrected with the, because for the longest time I couldn't get into it. So I don't know if she sent it to my personal email or
It was
not.
personal.
Beth did?
No, Keisha did.
Kate?
It's our personal email.
You got multiple emails with them.
I'll ask.
Gotta get a folder.
Okay, I think that's good. Thank you for all that discussion and help. You're gonna have more clarity after I put this all into us. Timeline.
Can I just clarify one thing really quick? We added multi-use / skating rink. Is that part of Whirlwind, which is number 3, or is that
Separate.
a separate priority?
Yeah. Number 5, maybe?
Okay, great. Just wanna go. Okay, thank you.
I was just gonna ask for some clarification, you did mention open space on Argentine. And also called it like potentially an active area, like that's a separate thing
Separate.
completely, and that's not there anything else does.
I will bring that for you when the consultant is done with their report, which should happen this month. And then the board gets that and they say, yes, we like this plan, we endorse this. I'm gonna bring that to you so that you can guys start talking about what you would like to recommend be programmed for that space. And then it goes back to the board, and then the board might even ask the DRC and the BPC, I mean, all the letters of the groups might be asked for their input, just because we like to have input from people. Then it'll come back to you and we can program that in the CIP at some point.
Okay, just wanna make sure, yeah, makes sense.
Now you understand why I don't like planning, because there's so much of it.
All right. Anything else for the parks budget?
Well, thanks for putting that together.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
The next meeting, you're gonna see a final budget ready to go, and I'm gonna ask you guys to all say, this looks great to us, we wanna vote to approve this budget and send it on to the board, so that they can talk about it in their budget process, okay?
Is
Okay.
it possible to circulate it before the meeting so we can review ahead of time?
Of course.
Okay, thank you.
Richard and I met on this one, this is both of our first agendas that we put together. And our plan is to have the agenda packets to you on the Monday
Okay,
before your Thursday.
cool.
So you have at least 3 days to read through it. If we get into that flow for a little while and you don't have enough time because you have jobs and you're doing regular life things, we can move it up. It's not a problem.
Okay.
So just trying to get into a flow for everybody to count on a consistent
Thank you.
schedule.
All right. On to the next, we can, yeah, we talked about the skating rink, we can do the staff report.
So. The first thing I got done this month was, we built 4 anchors for the dock on the east side of the lake. And installed them. Planted 11 trees in City Park. And installed 3 new zones on the very north side of that park, because there was never sprinkler over there.
Over by the oven.
Yep. So now that whole side has water. Next week, we're gonna be buying some more trees. So I only spent $2,500 out of the budget so far. And, so we're gonna go buy more trees on Monday. Hopefully,
How do you get the deals?
luck. We ended up with 11 trees and there was buy one, get one free because the guy was one of the business. So we planted,
Right?
3 crabapple trees, 2 hackberry trees, 2 oak trees and 4 linden trees. We didn't plant any cottonwoods.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't need more of those.
The cottonwood trees, I was looking at them today. All the cottonwood trees have holes in them from bugs. You look at the bark, all the way up and down infested. So I don't know what to do about those. I don't think you can.
Well, they made copies.
I guess if you land tree up here to look at them, see if they can spray them, but. They're pretty bored. You're in your trunk.
You can use that for firewood if you cut it down.
Cottonwood, you can't burn cottonwood, shit, that's not. That's my report. Any questions?
I have a question, actually, what happened at World, or at City Park? 2 days ago, 3 days ago, with the pinata, did you see that? You
They
kind of
had, they had a wedding reception over there
That's
on
what,
Sunday.
oh my god, the trash was everywhere, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, throughout the park, I saw it across the street. It was at the dog park, it was, maybe we should collect a security deposit for when we have venues like that, so that when they decide to leave their confetti all over and then the wind takes it into the other parks, that we don't have citizens trying to clean up pieces of things out of the parks.
They did have a party
It's
over
like,
there.
whoa, there was trash and litter, I was shocked how much there was, I tried cleaning some of it up, but like, it was a lot.
There's still confetti over there. on it.
You do like, you can rent out the park for weddings, but that's, I don't.
We
think
need a
what
security
happened.
deposit.
You know what I mean?
for-
Well, I don't think they did, I'm sure they
So
did.
that if they do
Did
that
they?
again.
There was a reservation process.
That was a huge wedding.
The $150, and that's what the fee covers, is the cleanup afterwards.
I don't think that was nearly enough, and did they get that
You
back?
maybe put something about confetti and stuff too, cause I actually,
No
I
glitter,
forgot all about it, but I
yeah.
saw them shooting confetti and I'm like, oh god,
It was
Kevin's gonna be having a great.
My dog was just trying to eat it. I
Oh,
was
yeah,
like,
you had a front row seat for your house.
Yeah. So,
Why didn't you blend? You could have gotten free drinks.
you know, I don't think I fit in it.
Next time, call me up. Just call me.
I would pay $150 to shoot off things and be like, if someone else is gonna clean it up,
Maybe
pay
have, like-
$550, maybe
Yeah.
it should be
That's
higher.
right, so,
Or something like throw rice instead of confetti or something, I don't know. but-
yes, that's a good idea. Many communities will limit what things you can. do.
Biodegradable.
But again, those fees have to be tied to a realistic cost for cleanup, so $150 at whatever the hourly rate is for a laborer for the Parks Department, then translates into how many hours of cleanup. And I would guess right now that's about 8 hours, so if it took Kevin more than a full day to clean up
That
that.
would be Jay and Bob cleaned it up.
But at that point, you're literally,
You're just paying.
like
for
you're
someone
just
to
blasting
clean up
confetti,
your
I mean, it's one thing if you didn't pick it all up and we had to clean up after you, but it's like, if you're just like, we didn't pick
I
up
agree.
any of the graffiti, that is literally, you know what I mean, it's
I
beyond.
I don't feel that we should be charging people at our normal labor rates to go and perform cleanup duties. I think if we're going to go and charge someone, it shouldn't be with the idea of, well, this is exactly how much it would cost for us to clean up after you, so this is the cleanup rate. It should be with this idea of like, yes, $1,000, and if you don't clean up, we keep your money because you didn't clean up. Rather than, it doesn't matter how much it costs us to, maybe looking at it from a different, like.
Return instead.
Well,
It's
yeah,
a
it would-
instead of a cost recovery.
Yeah.
That's, maybe that would
That's-
help.
Cause at $150, you're probably like, whatever.
Yeah.
In the customer rate.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna clean it up, here's my money.
I understand your frustration, but it's the law that says we can only charge this much. Because if you charge more money than it costs for the public to provide the service, it becomes an added tax. And you cannot just arbitrarily add taxes to people's bills without them voting on it, because governments can't just arbitrarily
I
add
believe they-
taxes.
In the 1700s, it was called taxation without representation. And they covered that in history.
I feel like you could have a deposit.
I charge about $1,200 a security deposit minimum for any event that you put on in
That's for
13 counties.
damages, that's for
Exactly,
damages,
would
right?
this be considered damage?
See, I feel like you could have a deposit that is equal to like what a littering fine would be. And then you're like,
We'll
you
get back
didn't,
to
you,
you, clean
you
up.
get a littering fine if you don't clean up, a little bit. And then we've already collected your
That'd be like.
fine for littering fee, otherwise you get it back, I don't know. Luckily, it doesn't happen all the time.
Right, like
I
a
just-
fee versus a deposit.
If I was enforcing the littering fine for Christmas market, for example,
We make so much.
oh my
more sense.
goodness.
But
Kevin would have a team of people.
We'd be Breckenridge.
I think-
Littering, bathroom.
I understand your frustration.
No, I just, like, how do I manage to charge that much then, but the town is.
The fact that people disrespect the use of public property is frustrating.
Or leave it better than you found it.
Luckily, it doesn't happen here.
Was there anything else anyone have to ask or mention about the staff report?
Thanks, Kevin, good job.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, you're the best.
All right, and Jessica, I will
Yes.
give it to you.
Okay, so, Emily, I believe her name was, who joined with Jeffco Open Space. I volunteered to be the, Georgetown Parks and Recreation Commission representative on that coalition because a part of Clear Creek Trail runs through Georgetown. So I just wanted to let everyone know of that, and I would bring any updates, but I don't think much is gonna come of it. I just wanna make sure that everyone is like communicating with each other because it runs. Like. It's a huge trail. It goes through like many counties,
So
so.
you can, if you get the bike map,
Mhm.
you can ride your bike from
It's like the
Georgetown
airport.
down to Denver and throughout Denver.
Yeah.
There's a continuous trail that goes all the way through.
And it's called Clear Creek Trail. Like at first I was like, oh, Clear Creek County, what? No, it's along Clear Creek, so, yeah. So yeah, if you have any questions or if you want me to bring anything to them, let me know.
Yeah, wasn't that about signage, like they were trying to do common signage across?
Yeah, so they're like working together to come up with like the same branding. And then they just want the different counties that like maintain the trail to use that same branding and signage, so. And they meet quarterly, so the next time they meet is at the end of the month. I won't be able to make it because I'll be out of town. But I can report back at the next one, which will be this. Summer.
If I'm not mistaken, the Empire leg of that trail goes right by the wastewater.
Yeah.
Yeah, they staked it out. It's because there's a driveway that you can take right out of Empire that goes past the wastewater plant and right on down to the junction, Empire Junction. And then from there, you can take the frontage roads without getting on the highway. So yeah, that is part of that trail, and
They've been doing it for a long
It-
time.
it was
so
staked out
it's not
3
gonna
years
be
ago.
Like a bunch of stuff coming at us from them, I don't think.
Yeah, it was like Hickenlooper's thing. or something.
We're talking to different people with that, like, forever ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it should be a pretty, well, go, so.
Well, yeah, they're not trying to like make anything happen really fast. They just want everyone to like. Be able to communicate with each other. So, yeah,
Thanks for doing it.
yeah, of course.
Yeah. Anybody, any questions for her?
I propose to an adjournment.
I'll second it.
So there.
Second, all available.
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.
Sitting him on Tuesday nights. You're calling quick draw.